doing today? Today's day 72 out of 75 hard. For today's quote, it is, if you say something and back it up with your actions, you will provide the proof for people who are listening to you, and they will much more willingly follow your lead. By Jim Ron. For me, this quote was just like, with this channel, it's like, people are only going to follow you by your actions. You can say all these things, but if you're not like showing support with the actions that you're doing, no one's gonna follow you. People like to see action. Like for me, you can say all these things, but like if your actions don't line up, then it's like, why am I gonna listen to you? It's really, are your actions like aligned with what you're saying? So that's the way I interpret the quote. Let me know in the comments. So for today's reading, finish the first agreement, which is be impeccable with your word. And what he was saying for this chapter is your word is very powerful. Your word can either hurt someone or help someone. And for him, for the be impeccable with your word, it was more in the sense of like, choose your words carefully. Do not gossip, because with gossip you are poisoning the other person, and then you're poisoning yourself. And then also, do not speak poorly about yourself. Your word should be in like leaning towards truth and love. Yep. So it was a very good chapter, just because it just was talking about like how important your word is, because like it's almost like, I like how he put like pure magic and black magic, where like black magic, you are basically poisoning the other person's mind, or they can even poison your mind, and like it shouldn't be happening. And you're saying like, since if you are impeccable with your word, your mind won't be like such fertile ground for negativity, just because since you are impeccable with your own word, you know your truth, and you know that like you have been doing what you say you're doing. So like, so someone else comes along and is like, oh, you're not doing that, you're like, you can brush that off, because you know the truth. But if you aren't doing what you say you're doing, and someone comes in and like says an opinion about you in that regard, then you're gonna like think negative of yourself. You're gonna like let that poison seep into your mind. So by being impeccable with your word, your word becomes your bond, and you just gain more confidence. And also too, like, being impeccable with your word is measured with like self-love. So it's just, for me, I know like in I would say like 2 years ago, I was definitely when I was listening to like Pedro's Julian in his podcast, he was like, yo, like your word is your bond. And that's something like I was practicing, and like, bro, my life when my word was my bond, like it was peaceful. And then I don't know, when coming back home, like I started losing that trust in myself. So like right now, I'm regaining it, and like trying to make my word my bond. I'm trying to be impeccable with my word, and it's a day-to-day practice. When I say something, I'm gonna do it. But yeah, great chapter on this. So the second, let me see some things I highlighted from, I can read to you guys. Which he says like, use white magic beginning with yourself. Tell yourself how wonderful you are, how great you are. Tell yourself how much you love yourself. Use the word to break all those teeny tiny agreements that make you suffer. And he's saying like, while being impeccable with your word, you have to first start with yourself before you can like lead others. Changes first in the way you deal with yourself, and later in the way you deal with other people, especially those you love the most. You will only receive a negative idea if your mind is fertile ground for that idea. When you become impeccable with your word, your mind is no longer fertile ground for words that come from black magic. So yeah, great first chapter. Second agreement is just don't take anything personally. He's saying like the other agreements come from the first. So just started with the second agreement. But very excited. Like, I'm loving this book, and yeah, something that just working on is being impeccable with your word. Your word is your bond. Today was a nice push day. Then just cruised along, cruise along, just cruised afterwards. Just honestly, been just loving cruising, just being on a skateboard. Um, and then just did my like walk for like my route for the run club. So it's just kind of same old. But for today for class, man, I was like overstimulated. I felt like that SpongeBob meme where he's like, I lost. What's his name? What's his name? And like his brain's like on fire, cause like we were learning this A dime note, with, and for my career, like this is like our bread and butter. Like we have to know this. And so we were doing one for the first time, like trying to go through it, and the professor was going through a case study and then trying to highlight like, okay, this is what we need to do, but like was going fast. She was talking fast, and then I'm trying to absorb all the information she's saying, and then trying to write it down, and then she's talking. I like my mind was just like like all over. I was just like, yo, like I do not know what I'm doing. So um, emailed her. I was like, yo, I need some help. I got an office hours meeting so she can like walk me through it, because I was so lost that I didn't even know what kind of question to form. That's how lost I was. So yeah, just reaching out for some help, and yeah, that's all I can do. Like right now, I'm lost and just reaching out because I want to learn, and yeah, hopefully, tomorrow, like just get the ball rolling, because I definitely do not want to be that lost again, especially where it's something like this ADIME, which is assessment, diagnosis, intervention, monitoring, evaluation. Like that is something that's like bread and butter for my career. So like I have to know the information. But besides that, I had a great day. Cannot complain. I'm really trying to finalize after the 75 hard how I'm gonna be setting up my just like my workouts um, for all week, for the whole week, just because like I said, the marathon and then strength training and then the hydrox, like where am I fitting all this craziness. But yeah, just trying to finalize my split. But yeah, like I said, great day. Really appreciating the moment, because honestly, like I'm gonna definitely look back at this and be like, wow, like look what I've done. But yeah, so appreciating each moment, because you know what, never know when it's your last, and tomorrow's not guaranteed for no one. So don't put yourself in a box. Explore all areas of life, and you have an amazing day.